Hello everyone, my name is Dimitri and welcome to my channel. I would like to show you a bit of the progress that I have made in the last year on the project. A lot of it has actually just been buying tools. I did have some stuff, a few grinders and stuff, but a lot of it I just needed to buy. Well, let's start first with the building itself. This has been built last year, and let's just start a small tour of the workshop. So this is the workshop built last year. There's still a lot of work to be done, and let's start from this angle. So this is a ladder in which I put some planks of wood and in which I can stack a lot of the tools that I need. There's a lot of variety, but pretty much grinders, just a lot of different stuff. This is woodworking, and some of this was bought last year, some of this is quite new. Here is just a small place. This again organized this year to have all of the things for the grinder. Moving on next, that's again keep up stuff, nothing very important. Let's go on this part here, and here I have what you could call a chop saw. Now this has a few years, literal piece of trash, never worked properly. I don't even understand why I have it. Keep it here, but it's just collecting a lot of dust. Moving on next. Welder. So bought this mask about 3 months ago. This is a Tailwind, and I have to say, really impressed by it. It was about 200 euros, but this thing is wonderful. It has a big, large screen. Very happy with it. I have to say, very comfortable, very easy to have. Before this, I had another welding mask, which was much cheaper, but that worked when I was stick welding. So I just keep it in this wonderful package here. It was this one here, nothing really to show, but you know, it worked really good. But when I bought a TIG welder, I started to have essentially flashes, and my eyes would hurt, and it's just not good. So here we have an air compressor. Thing is really old, but still works. Vacuum cleaner. This is part of a bicycle that I cannibalized essentially that I use for the chassis. Moving on, one of the big purchases was this. This is a miter saw. So this is from a brand called Evolution. And why have I chosen this? So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff. Now, the really cool thing about this miter saw, and it's quite unique in the market, is that this can cut wood, aluminium, which every miter saw, but can also cut steel. And it does a really good job at cutting steel. And it's actually quite affordable, 200 bucks. Overall, I have to say, very happy with it. Some things that I like, well, it's precise. I set it up once and it cuts really nicely. It cuts quite quickly. The cuts are really clean. Let me show you this part here. So this thing is... I mean, the cuts are quite clean, and once you cut it, they're also cool to the touch. I just don't like one thing about it, which is securing the metal part to the platform. And for example, this one is longer, so you can use this feet here, and it's usually enough, but just to be sure, usually I also put another clamp this way just to keep it hold. But the problem is, if you have, for example, a very small part, which I don't have one on hand, but let's say you have something like this that you need to cut. Well, usually I don't have things this small, but it's like this. I can't secure it. And on this, I made a mistake once to, you know, just hold it with my hand and cut. Bad idea. That thing literally was flung so hard. Luckily, it didn't come in my direction. I wasn't hurt. But if it would hit me, I would absolutely be hurt. Moving on, so let me open the light. Okay, moving on, this is a drill, or however you want to call it. This is a Bosch PBD40. So let me open it. Well, let me plug it in. Bosch PBD40. Actually very nice form factor. It has some nice features. For example, it has a variable speed dial, and it has also 2 speeds, which means that yeah, you can speed it lower as variable speed motors, but also you can put it in first speed, so it turns lower and you have increased torque. Nice platform, but overall I have to say, for example, here it has a laser, which by the way now it's a lot of light and it's still very visible. It has a light which is actually quite good, but overall I have to say I'm very, very disappointed about this drill. Big problem. Can you hear this? I don't know if it's visible, but there is a lot of play, a huge amount of play, way too much play to be any sort of precise. The chuck itself, it's quite fiddly, I don't really like it. And also this clamp system, so you put things here, for example, and you can lower the clamp on it and you can do this. Now, first, as you can see these lines here, if it really doesn't hold things very well. So if you are pushing a bit harder and the bit catches, this thing just turns, and it happened twice, and once I got hurt. So it's not good, and this clamp is terrible. It's just a bad design. Not only the problem you can see here, you have the base and then you have this pillar here, and the clamp is connected to this, pushing on this on the base, which means that if you tighten this very hard, now I haven't measured, but I can actually physically see that this angle between these two increases. I mean, it's just bad design. It's I'm not very happy with it. I wouldn't advise to buy it. I have it and now this is what I have to use, but this is not a very good product. Let's move on down, because here I have a few other tools. I bought some Makita stuff, batteries, and well, this is a grinder. What do I have to say? Really good, wonderful grinder. Batteries actually last a fair amount of long time. These are 6 amp hours. Moving on then, on this side, other grinders, stuff to just drill. This thing is quite nice. These are drills, and these are from Bosch. These are very expensive. I paid a lot of money. These are the cobalt stuff, and yeah, use them quite a bit. Still are sharp as new. Here's just stuff. Moving on, vise. I have this vise, piece of garbage. Again, I bought cheaper stuff that I could afford. I thought that, you know, a vise is a vise, but this is just bad. Next one, Sawzall, again from Makita, the brushless one. Cuts metal like butter. Wonderful tool. I use this so much, especially at work. I'm a plumber and this thing gets used a lot. Moving on, here we have the table, a welding table. Now, as you can see, this is handmade. I wanted to buy one until I figure out how expensive they are. Crazy expensive. A good welding table is 2,000 euros, and I just really couldn't afford that kind of money, so I built one myself. I'm very happy with it, actually. For example, these are 3 by 3 centimeters by 2 millimeters thick. It's exactly 3 centimeters, because when I welded this, I put another one between them. Overall, I have to say it's big enough. I'm very happy with it. And this cost me, I think, 100 and something euros in materials. Labor, that's unaccounted for. Moving on next, this is one of the big purchases. So, if I can, okay, let me go here. So, this is a Tailwind TIG welder. I had before this a multi-process machine, so those things that can MIG, TIG and stick weld. It was a very good MIG welder, very decent stick welder. TIG welder, piece of garbage. It was really terrible, so I sold it to someone who was interested in the MIG functions of it, which were quite good, and spent the money and bought this. This was about a bit more than 1,000 euros. Quite a big spend, especially for me, but oh my god, you know, you always hear the story, you know, it's the welder, not the welding machine or stuff like that. I don't know, maybe for mega professionals, huge difference. Once I bought this, you know, these are not amazing, but immediately I could get good, decent welds, no problem with sticking. Just really nice machine. This is, if you see, this is not the first Tailwind product. I have a few more, and I have been very happy with them. On that direction, that is the argon cylinder, big one. That one is a gift. So I was looking to buy, an argon cylinder for my TIG welder, and these are really expensive. Here where I live, it's about 400 euros, actually more than 400 euros for one with the gas in it, especially a big one like this. And well, I called the company, went there, and they asked me, where are you from? I said, my town. And they were like, oh, I also grew up there. Who's your dad? And I told the name of my dad, and he was like, what do you need it for? And I explained the project that I'm doing, the thing that I'm building. And the person was like, wow, that's really cool. I'll give you the gas cylinder. When you don't need it, just bring it back. So spend, instead of 400 bucks, it was about 70. So huge gift. I mean, I was so happy. Now moving on here, this is a fridge. As you can see, I'm not keeping food in it. It's a Samsung fridge that never properly worked, and I'm just keeping it as, I don't know, storage. So this is, my people, where the magic happens. As you can see on those tools, these are just some of the stuff I really need. There are a lot of other tools that I need to buy, and well, hopefully by the end of this year or whenever I'm gonna be able to. I don't plan this stuff. It's when I have the money, I buy the tools. I need a 3D printer. Now you can find cheap ones, but the results are cheap, and for a good one it's still more than 1,000 euros. But the two big ones, it's a lathe. I would love to have a lathe. It would make my life so much easier, and a mill. So these three tools are really those that I'm actually saving on buying. And well, hopefully we're gonna get there. It's gonna take some time. Tools are expensive, and well, we're gonna get there. So we're gonna buy them as we need. Now we're working on the metal chassis, and with the welders, grinders, drills and stuff like that, I will be able to get at least decent results. Thank you very much. Wish you a fantastic day, and if you have any comments, well, please write them in the comment section.